Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad to have you guys here today. Up 3.75% XRP Army. We have an awesome video for you today. We're definitely going to be jumping in the charts. As we can see here, the daily candle definitely pumped. Did not get to our 55, 56 cent level. We're going to be jumping into the charts here today for sure. Also, XRP Ledger updates its what? And what does this mean? Mt. Gox trustees set registration deadline for January 10th for repayment selection. We'll cover that because that makes big information for the whole crypto market. Bitcoin and gold face headwinds amid strengthening dollar. We're definitely going to cover that for us as well. And the big major breaking news all across crypto right now, BNB chain online after suspension due to a cross-chain exploit. That's right, BNB hacked. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Ryan Huggins. I'm a crypto and real estate investor here in Southern California. And if you're like most people, you probably don't have the opportunity to spend hours and hours a day reading through headlines, going through charts and all that. But that is what we do here on this channel. So if you're looking for a crypto shortcut, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're bringing you all the details multiple times a day. So here we are, BNB chain back online after suspension due to cross-chain exploit. After a brief network suspension as a result of a cross-chain hack, the activity on the BNB chain is back online. People were absolutely losing it over this. It's big news. BNB chain, the native blockchain behind the Binance crypto exchange, is up and running as of October 7th, according to an update from the network. Activity on the network was briefly suspended after confirmed rumors of a cross-chain exploit. And if you guys are not aware, Binance is the largest crypto exchange in the world. So for the fact that this happened, very crazy, very devastating to the crypto world and the fear of, is crypto safe? The blockchain reported the network validators are confirming their status as well as upgrading community infrastructure. And you can see the statement here from them. BNB Smart Chain, BSC, is running okay from the 20 minutes ago. The validators are confirming their status and the community infrastructure are upgrading as well. BNB Chain, October 7th. So a few hours prior to resolving the network suspension, BNB Chain updated the community on Twitter saying validators are working to stop hacker accounts and asking node runners to update their versions. Native cross-chain communication between BNB Beacon Chain and BNB Smart Chain is disabled. We ask that all node runners try to upgrade to the version listed above. Validators and communities will discuss further upgrades to fully resolve the situation. Initial estimates of compromised funds were as high as $100 million worth of cryptocurrency. However, hours into the situation, the network announced current estimates of exploited funds to be around $70 to $80 million, with 7 million successfully frozen. And the interesting thing here about BNB Chain, though, is they are the ones that typically rescue people's lost or stolen money because it goes back through the Binance chain. So it'll be interesting to see how the other network of cryptos and exchanges and so on help to find those lost and stolen hacked cryptos and retrieve that, because they do generally retrieve it. Most of the hackers never actually get caught, or some of them come out later as white hat hackers. Oh, we hacked you on purpose. Now here's your money back. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out long term. The genesis of the compromise took place on the BSC token hub, which is the end created extra BNB, according to an official post on Reddit. CZ, the founder of and CEO of Binance, also tweeted about the incident, saying that in the midst of the network suspension, validators were asked to temporarily suspend BSC in order to contain the issues. CZ also assured users their suspended funds were secure. And here is the statement from CZ here. An exploit on a cross-chain bridge, BSC token hub, resulted in extra BNB. We have asked the validators to temporarily suspend BSC. The issue is contained now. Your funds are safe, and we apologize for the inconvenience, and we will provide further updates accordingly. So if any of you guys out there that are watching that do have Binance, like I said before, they usually take care of everything. They obviously are trying very hard to get this resolved. If you were in any way affected by this, they will probably retrofit that for you. Internet sleuths on Twitter actively looked into the issue and the stolen funds, with some estimating the hackers got around 400 million in assets frozen by the BNB chain network. Tether also posted that it blacklisted the hacker's wallet address, so they're already starting to fight back, like I was telling you. And this hack comes a few weeks after BNB chain launched a community-powered security effort to secure users in its network. The Avenger DAO serves the fight against scams, malicious actors, and potential exploits. There was no mention of the Avenger DAO in relation to the recent incident on the network. All right, and the thing that I've been talking about for a very long time, this is the Black Swan potential event, the one that I fear the most, but maybe it ends up being a dud, which will be absolutely a beautiful thing. But the Mt. Gox trustee sets registration deadline for January 10th for repayment solution. So if you were affected, you would have to be an OG crypto person in order to have even known what Mt. Gox is. And a lot of our community members are OG crypto handlers. So this is for you guys, users of the Mt. Gox exchange, maybe one step closer to getting their funds back after trustee NK announced the options for repayment. And if you're not aware, they were hacked years ago, and now they're going to be repaying all of the crypto that was stolen. I take that back. I misspoke. Not all of the cryptos, but most of the crypto that was actually retrieved. So creditors from the defunct crypto exchange Mt. Gox have until January 2023 to register and select a repayment method as part of the plan by which they will be compensated for their full losses and for their losses. And the interesting thing here, guys, is that this has been continuously getting the can kicked down the road. So it's interesting to me only because if they would have just gone ahead and done this already, the pain could have been felt. I mean, we're in the ultimate pain of crypto right now. If we start to pump back, Q1, and then let's say we get 30, 40, 50K Bitcoin again, and these people sell it, all of a sudden, boom, we have another massive drop. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. According to an October 6th announcement, Mt. Gox trustee NK, creditors have until the 10th to select the repayment method or to register payee information in an online rehabilitation claim filing system to be paid through bank remittance, fund transfer service provider, a cryptocurrency exchange, or custodian. Kabayoshi updated is the latest development in the rehabilitation plan that began with a 2018 petition to compensate Mt. Gox creditors for their lost funds following the exchange collapse in 2014. So I'm saying, like OG crypto. If you do not complete the necessary selection and registration, you will not be able to receive any of the repayments below, and you will need to bring the required documents to the Mt. Gox Company Ltd. head office or other place designated by the rehabilitation trustee and receive repayment in Japanese yen, said the notice. If you're unable to receive such repayment, the repayment amount will be deposited with the Legal Affairs Bureau. Crypto exchange Bitstamp announced it will be one of the firms supporting the repayment plan. Mt. Gox users' losses were estimated worth billions of dollars following the collapse of the crypto exchange. Roughly 99% of the creditors affected by the platform going under approved a draft rehabilitation plan in October 2021. With claimants representing roughly 83% of the total amount of voting rights voting yay. Kobayashi announced in November 2021 that the plan was considered final and binding following acceptance by the Japanese court. However, the trustee noted in an October 4th update that was just recently that he had petitioned for certain amendments to provisions of the rehabilitation plan, which would have no adverse effect on rehabilitation creditors. So for those of you guys that are involved in that, please make sure you follow the necessary steps. We don't want you to lose out on all of your potential gains from that. And then also Bitcoin and gold face headwinds amid strengthening dollar. If you're a frequent watcher of the channel or my segment and you're a subscriber here, you know that we do follow the Dixie quite frequently. We have noticed recently, obviously, a nice turn down from the $114 range of the dollar. It actually got to a high of 114.77 cents before having a pullback. Did not even reach any of our potential supply and demand zones for our 1 hour or our daily zones here. It just had a immediate turnaround once it hit the bottom of our volatility band on the RSI. So it did get to about the 50 of the RSI and started bouncing up. And as you can also see, we do have right now the Nadaria-Watson envelope indicator on the screen. And that also typically indicates potentially a bottom for the short term. It came down, bounced out of that, and sure enough, we've had the next 3 days pumping to the upside. With that pump, we've also started to experience consecutive days in the QQQ and in the NASDAQ, obviously falling hard, and even the US 30 continuing to drop pretty severely here, also forming some downward trending looks. Bitcoin USD also trailing down over the last 3 days, the complete opposite of what we've had on the dollar. Bitcoin did decouple with the stock market and saw its correlation with gold rise to a level not seen since last year. Bitcoin BTC currently sitting at 19,600, still having that tough time of breaking and holding above 20. And gold are no longer investors' primary choices as inflation hedges amid the strengthening US dollar. The current turmoil in the financial markets added to the geopolitical tensions has run havoc on the majority of the assets that investors prefer to invest in during times of financial crisis. And as we've been talking about on this channel, on my segment, when the dollar is strong, people get into what's called risk-off investing. That means that they start to invest in things that are secured by the dollar, right? So things that the dollar could hold value in. The opposite is true for things like stocks and Bitcoin and gold. They go down when the dollar gets stronger. Those are called risk-on assets. Bitcoin has lost nearly 70% of its market cap since the market top last year, while gold, which strengthened its position in the first quarter of the year, despite the Russia-Ukraine crisis, is currently down 10% year to date. And I will tell you this, though, the gold volatility is significantly smaller and slower than Bitcoin anyway. So that, that's not a crazy situation to be that far off. The negative market condition has forced BTC to shed its correlation with tech stocks, while at the same time, the top cryptocurrency's correlation with the precious metal has reached levels not seen in over a year. And as you guys hear, a lot of times people talk about, let's see here, Bitcoin is the digital gold and Ethereum is digital silver. Well, that started a long time ago when those two basically held hands up and down. They separated when Bitcoin started trading along with stocks rather than with gold, but now they've kind of joined hands again with gold instead of stocks. The correlation between Bitcoin and gold over the past year has largely fluctuated between 0.2 and 0.2 minus, 0.2 above percentage points. However, the correlation between the two assets reached 0.3 last week, the highest in 1 year. Bitcoin's correlation with gold, as you can see right here, over 30-day correlation, daily returns, and this is where we're at on the chart. A correlation reading of plus 0.3 is considered slightly positive, while a value of plus 0.7 is regarded as a strong correlation. Thus, even though BTC gold correlation has reached a yearly high, it has still not reached the significant level where the price momentums mimic each other. Apart from Bitcoin and gold, United States Treasury bonds and other stocks have also faced a similar fate. Experts believe that the strengthening dollar added to the ongoing market conditions has forced investors to look beyond safe haven assets, the risk on stuff. And then also I wanted to let you know, when we're looking at the dollar, we're looking at that situation that still has room to go. As you guys have probably heard, if you listen to anything financial, stocks are looking to continue to go down and bottom. We can also take a look at our dollar on the charts. We do have a weekly supply and demand level up here right at $116. It's very, very close there. Now, what could also happen, by the way, if we take a look here on the weekly charts, is we've been moving up and we've been in this overbought territory on the dollar for so long, but yet price continues to go. Now, what you'll notice here is even though RSI is dropping, price is continuing to increase. And we talk about that a lot here. That would be considered a divergence, right? So we had a bearish divergence hit here, but it got here, and then all of a sudden a hidden bullish divergence kicked in and it rallied up. So we're looking for another major weekly bearish divergence to hit up here where RSI is coming down, right? And then the price makes a run up spike up here, which could happen sometime over the next 2 to 3 weeks is what I'm seeing in my view of the market. We have basically a run up to a new high here on the weekly charts of $116 or in this range, might even spike all the way up to all-time highs, or not all-time highs, but most recent highs. I'll show you here. We take a look at the monthly chart and we go back in history. So we've got some recent highs. I mean, as far as recent goes, this is actually from 2001. But when we take a look at this and we could even go back a little farther. I don't see like this. I don't see happening. That's out of control, crazy. That was back in the 80s when that happened. But like something of this returning to these levels is a reality. So let's go ahead and get our horizontal line here. We'll draw it at the peak. And that one gets us all the way up to $121, right? So if it reaches the peak again, double tap, right? A double tap situation here from 2001 all the way to 2022, maybe even 2023. But I mean, if it's going to happen, they're just going to run it up and get it done, get it out of the way. So we'll see what happens. As you can see here on the monthly, it's outside of volatility bands. We're also on the overbought territory. Last time that happened was here, had a little bit of a pullback down to the $93 range, right? So it came down here, tapped 93, went up, tapped 92, and then ran all the way up to these highs here. Remember, these candles are monthly candles, so this is absolutely nuts. This is parabolic rise starting right here on the June 1st. Yeah, so June 1st, so the monthly candle of June 2021, all the way till now, it's just been nothing but a parabolic rise for the US dollar. Bitcoin might be struggling to keep up with the inflation hedge narrative. However, it is important to note that BTC is still a nascent asset class when compared to others. The top cryptocurrency is still among the best performing assets over the past 5 years, period. And here's the grand finale news. And we're going to jump into the charts here in just a minute. XRP Ledger updated its UNL, unique nodes list. What does this mean? And this is actually a really, really big deal because, as you know, XRP, the ledger, runs on nodes. So let's dive in and find out what this means for us as XRP members. XRP Ledger Foundation shares updates of the UNL, Ripple's influence reduced. So this is really good because, as we all know, the most important thing in cryptocurrency is to have decentralization. Well, Ripple, the main parent company of this whole entire ecosystem of XRP, Ripple, the company, owned almost all of the nodes in the beginning, and they've been spreading them out over time. So according to this official announcement shared by XRP Ledger Foundation, an Estonia-registered nonprofit that supports XRPL ecosystem, the new unique nodes list has been released with major updates. So here you can see the tweet. We have updated the UNL. The changes are the addition of the X-Spectre validator and the removal of one Ripple validator. There was also a public key change of one Ripple validator. Operators and list providers are urged to read, and you can click that and read the link. So first and foremost, it was decided to add a new validating entity to the list of default validators, X-Spectre. This project proved itself an active and reliable member of XRP Ledger's ecosystem. The operators of this project have contributed to the overall infrastructure of the XRPL, including running a full history server. So every transaction that has ever happened on the XRP Ledger, they are running one. So the validator has also maintained an excellent uptime prior to inclusion. Then XRPL Foundation decided to remove two Ripple-controlled validators from the list, while one new validator by Ripple was added. So Ripple had two old previous ones they removed, and then they added a brand new fresh one. That said, Ripple now controls only two out of the 35, or less than 5.8% of its distributed computational power. New step toward decentralization of XRP Ledger. So this is major, major positive news for XRP. Representatives of the XRPL Foundation highlighted that this update is in line with the policy of reduction of multiple validators by any entity. So they don't want any one person to control more than one personal node. All right, jumping back over here to XRP, currently up 420, so 4.2%. Well, it just flipped to 4.19, but that is good news. We're still continuing. We're actually up a little more than we were when we started the stream here. So let's go ahead and clear that out of the way, and let's jump into the chart. So yesterday, if you guys remember, we talked about XRP had been 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row green. Now we are 5 days in a row, and we also broke above this major important line here, the 1100-day moving average. Now, what we're seeing here is we have our 50 moving average. Here, let me turn this off and we're going to just exit out of that. Okay. So we have our 50-day exponential moving average climbing up. I will tell you this, if this 50-day, or yeah, I'll say because if for some reason we start to have some sort of pullback or whatever, but if this 50-day crosses this 1100-day moving average, when this crosses that, so when this white line crosses that blue line, we're looking at exponential, we're looking at parabolic moves to the upside. We're looking at like what we saw on the Dixie. So let me go back in history for you a little bit on the Dixie here. Look what happened when the 50 crossed this 1100. Oh my gosh. Like we were just talking about how we were, kind of covering this data here, but look at this, when this crossed this line, that is when that went absolute parabolic for that long period of time on the daily charts. So as we take a look here at XRP, where it's at right now, I know a lot of people are really excited and they're starting to prepare for that big pump, which we've already had a pretty big, scoot to the upside here. But when it crosses that bad boy, we could be very excited. And by the way, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because I talk about it on this channel. It's just financial entertainment, financial education. And when we're looking at the charts and reading them here, it does give us clues and signs of what could potentially be happening. That is one of the most exciting things that could potentially happen. And that's days away. So if we look here from 35 cents to 41 cents, that's 6 cents climb since September 21st. Well, we'll go from here, September 19th. Okay, so September 19th till today, October 7th. So 19 plus 11 plus 7. So basically 2 weeks, right? 14, 15 days. 18 days. If we go from 41 cents, 6 cents more, we need a little more than that. This could also slowly drop. I mean, can you see this, right? In the next month, this could possibly cross in the next 30 days. And then when that crosses, bullish behavior kicking in. I mean, we're already pretty bullish right now, things we've been experiencing on XRP. We are trapped in a little bit of a range here. As you can see right here, we're trapped basically between this level here at 43 cents. And then up here, we were trapped at this 50-cent level, but we broke through that again today. And then what we can also see, which is really exciting. Now we do still have 1 hour, 47 minutes left in this candle, but the body of this candle, it closed pretty good, right? Above the line. And we're talking about the red line as well, because that red line was important for us. It's like basically 50 cents. We popped it, retraced. Now we popped it yesterday, pretty solid, right? I mean, if we go back and look at this, the body of that candle was basically resting on our breakout line. And what we did is we went to the weekly charts here and we looked at these two. In fact, look at this. If we move this down to the tops of those bodies right there, let's get this exact. So we're going to delete that. We're going to go ahead and get this line and we're going to use our magnet. Boom. Okay. So that's our exact spot, 49.158 cents. Okay. 0.49158. And now we drop back to the daily. Our candle yesterday broke that line. And today, the body of that candle officially opened above that line. That's a hard close. That is what we've been waiting for. That is epic right there. Now we've also got a body above this 1100 moving average. This is going to close here. We're going to have to make sure that the body of tomorrow's candle also continues pushing up. We don't want to have something where it comes back down like on this weekly candle, right? So we pushed all the way up here and then rejected down for a week. We want to continue this move up. We still have 2 days, 2 hours left. And as we look here on the weekly moving average, our 50 exponential moving average is here at 55 cents. It's trying to break that. And remember what we've been talking about here, bullish wise, 55 cents, climbing the ladder, 65 cents, 75 cents, 85 cents, right? We're going to continue climbing because all these levels on our way up, as we've been looking at them, are there. So this one, 65 cents, we got to break, right? So obviously the bottom of this level is 58 cents, But right here is 55 cents. We break into this level, break up to 65 cents, claim it as support, move up to 75 cents, claim that as support, and then we can keep moving our way up. Now, the cool thing is if we take a look here at our weekly supply and demand charts, if we take our weekly supply and demand zone here, let's color this one white. That one is 78 cents the bottom of that. Okay, 78 cents the bottom of that, 91 cents the top. And then we have, if we break this one, we're pretty much breaking this candle. All we have left is this candle that we would need to break, that $1.01. That's that psychological barrier that we've been involved in the past. We want to break that dollar and reclaim it. After that, I mean, this is getting really exciting here, guys. Like, this is getting really exciting. And a lot of that has to do with what happens over the next 30 days. Does this line cross? I mean, if we get a nice pump up, like what happened here, when we started getting that ramp up, look how steep that started to climb. That's what we really would like to see. If we jump over here to the 4-hour charts, we can see we already broke that. Okay, so our 4-hour charts, it has broken above that. Bullish cross for sure right there. Now, one thing to keep in mind, we are very, very overbought on this 4-hour. And if we take a look here, let's go ahead and remove all the drawings. So we have a clear table here on our 4-hour charts. Here's what's really neat too. We now have new data here. This is our support zone for the 4-hour support right here at 49 cents. So as we see, we turn this to Japanese candlesticks. Boom, we busted through that. If that comes down and retests that, it's okay. Then boom, rocket ship to the moon, right? We also have, let's go ahead and look at a little more data here on the downside. Let's see here. Go back to Heikinashi. We have this little blip here. And then if that doesn't hold, we have this down here. All right, so that's some stuff to look for downwise. But as you can see, I mean, look at this. The 50 moving average has been coming up, crossed that blue line, still heading up. So what do we need to break now? Well, we've got these little zones, but the reality is, what do we need to break? We need to break this. Got 55,894. So 55 cents, almost 56 cents. Break that, claim it. Then we take off to the next level. So very exciting stuff, what's going on in the charts for XRP right now. I cannot wait, and keep an eye, right? So we're watching for this bullish cross, our 50 exponential moving average crossing our 1100 exponential moving average on the daily. So let's see what happens. Let's check also Ethereum on those. So here's the one thing that I'm saying, like, it could happen, it will happen. So we have Ethereum was on its way as well, and then obviously had a little die off. So it is still continuing trading in that trend that we talked about multiple days ago. Take a look at Shiba Inu also. It doesn't have enough data to even give us the 1100-day moving average. And then we go to Bitcoin. It has had kind of the death cross the opposite way, but it's been holding this crazy darn support down here at the bottom. It has not broken below that for quite some time. So if this regains the top side of this 50 moving average, you can see what happened when it hit. Last time it bumped up, didn't make it. Bumped up, really didn't make it, right? So now we bumped up once. We haven't even gotten above it yet. Are we coming down for a retest? Remember, what I've been watching for is I've been watching for a bullish divergence on the weekly charts of Bitcoin. And that would be, this is the low, and we get a new price a little lower than that. And then RSI, as you can see right here, as long as the RSI does not create also a new lower low, we would have a bullish divergence on Bitcoin, and then we could take off to the upside. And then the opposite is true. It's what we were just talking about here, right? With the Dixie, with the dollar on the weeklies here, price is continuing to rise. But as we can see here, the RSI is continuing to drop. So eventually that's going to break. It's going to have a full-on break. But when? No one knows. So if we look here on the daily charts, same thing. That's our weekly still continuing to drop. Our price is continuing to go. But even in this more short term, if we had a crazy spike to the upside, like we were talking about earlier, maybe it does run up here over the next several days, all the way up to this 116 level. Now what would we have? We would have price that had spiked to the upside, and our RSI had a top, but a lower high on the RSI, giving us a bearish divergence on the dollar as well. So as we can see here on the Heikin-Ashi candles, we'll go back in history. So we had a bearish divergence here. It gave us that signal. We had a bearish divergence here. Didn't really crash hard. That's because the economy stuff, right? Bullish divergence here. Took a couple days before taking off to the upside. So the exciting thing is, what if we did have a slam down in price? So we have a huge spike in the Dixie. It just keeps climbing. So what is important to do right now? The ultimate most important thing to do right now is make more money, right? So you need to put more money into you and your family's pocket, whether it's getting a second job or getting good at another skill that can provide you income. And one of those skills is affiliate marketing. So let me show you something.